Hello friends, welcome to Java AWT learning series. Here you are looking at the sub-series drawing with graphics and mouse. This is a part 1 video. So previously we saw part 0 that just talked about what is graphics and what is the use of graphics APIs like paint and repaint, how we do. Now we will enter our implementation stage. So the frame window is ready at this moment, and if you want to know how to create frame window, watch our very first video in this playlist. So in the last video we saw about the example, and if you see, so this is the panel. I mean, it's not actually a panel. So this is the set of control which we want to display on the east side of our frame window. So we know about border layout, right? So this one is north. So this is east side. Sorry, this one is actually south. And this top portion is north. This is north portion. And this is west actually. So, and we are not using this north, west or south. So the entire area is occupied by the default frame display. But the east side we are going to add 1, 2, 3, 4. This mode is 5 and 6 control. So these are all command button, first 3 and then one checkbox. There are 2 labels, so this is one label and there is one label. Since we don't have any text, it is not shown here, but actually there is one label here. Alright, so now what we want to do when user clicks any of this button, so before they perform drawing using mouse here in this area, first they will pick a drawing mode. So if they want to draw a line, they will click this button and here it will show the drawing mode. And suppose, say for example, they clicked freehand, let us assume like that, then here the drawing mode will show as a freehand. And when they click draw rect, then it will show that rectangle mode. Alright, so that's the first part we are going to implement. So what we will do, first we will create all this 6 control, then we will add it to the south layout, I mean the east layout. So for that we want to display the control in a stack, like we want to display like this, first control, second control, third control, 4, 5, 6, like that. So what we will do here, we will create a grid layout. So this grid layout we will assign it to some panel. So this will be our panel. Then inside the panel we will assign this grid layout, and this grid layout will contain 6 rows. So in each row we will add one control. So for example, here draw line, draw rect, freehand, then this is for checkbox, and this is for the label, this mode, and this one is for the last label. So once we done that, what we will do, so we will handle action performed, then in the action performed we will actually set our drawing mode. So this will tell whether user want to perform a line drawing or rectangle or freehand drawing. So that's one thing we will do, and yeah, that's all we are going to do here. So all these three buttons, so there are three buttons you are seeing, right? 1, 2 and 3. So all these three buttons will set a action command. So here we will do set action command for all these three buttons. Then in the action performed handle we will retrieve that action command. So we will use a get action command from the action event. Then we will use that to set the label here. So that's what we are going to do. So let me summarize what we are going to do in this part 1. First we will create a panel. We will assign a grid layout. Then we will create a 6 controls. Then we will add those controls to panel. Then we will add the panel to our frame window east position. Then we will handle action performed. All right, now we will go to coding part. So our code window is ready. Now let me run it once. So this is the frame window. The sizes are adjusted. So I set size to 600, class 300. That means the width here is 600, then height is 300. All right, now, so as already told in the slide, here we are going to handle the buttons and we need to implement action listener. But our drawing will be performed based on the mouse pressed, mouse released and mouse drag. So we need a listener from mouse also. So first we will implement all the required listener. So this is our first code snippet. So it already implemented a window listener. Now we will implement other listeners also. So action listener, this is for the mouse. That's for the button click. Mouse listener is for tracking the mouse press and mouse release. So that's the two event we are going to use in our example. Then mouse motion listener, here we are going to use only the mouse drag. So for action listener, I am importing it from java.awt event. Then mouse listener, I am importing it from same package, java.awt.event. Then mouse motion listener also from the same package. So click save. Next, so these errors are gone. Now if you see, it states that add unimplemented method. So because all these stuffs are interfaces, so you can see the icon I, so that states it's an interface. Now we will click on add unimplemented methods. So now we will go to the, let me maximize it. So override keyword is given by Eclipse, so it's for safe purpose it gave. Say for example, because of this override keyword, if I change something, it will throw error once I save, right? Because it's override, so it states that I'm not overriding it. So if I remove this keyword, it won't give any error, but we are not actually overriding it. So now, even though override keyword is not there, we are overriding this method. I mean, we are implementing this method from the interface. So mouse dragged we want to use. So let me keep it like this. Then mouse moved also we will use, but not in this part. In the next part we will use. Actually, mouse moved is not required, but let me keep it. Mouse clicked we don't want to use. Pressed we will use. So the goal here is I want to move all the used event towards the bottom. So mouse released we will use. So far these 5 events are from mouse listener. Now mouse entered, mouse dragged and mouse moved. These two are from mouse motion listener. This clicked, release, clicked, pressed, released, entered and exit. These are all from the mouse listener. So that's not a mouse motion, that's a normal mouse event. So this action performed is from action listener. So this is for our button handling. So we are not going to use this, so just removing and placing it at the bottom, or we can do it this way also. So let me have it as an empty body. Mouse dragged we need, mouse clicked we are not going to implement, pressed we will implement, released also we will implement, enter and exit we are not going to implement, action performed we need. So that's also we rearranged our listener methods. Alright, so unused method we packed at one single place. Now we will add some member variables. So these are all the member variables. So draw mode is the string. So this one will tell which drawing user want to perform. So here we will set whether it is line drawing or a rectangle drawing or a freehand drawing. Then whether we are drawing or a rectangle, we need 2 point. So let me go to MS Paint. Suppose if we want to draw a line, we need 2 point. So this one will be the from point and this one will be the 2 point. What happens if you are drawing a line will be drawn between these 2 points. Similarly, if we want to draw a rectangle, that time also we need 2 point. So this will be 1 point. And this will be the other point. So here also we need 2 point. But the graphics API asks you to specify the X and Y coordinate that denotes the top left of the rectangle. Then it looks for width, so this one will be the width, and it will also look for height, so this one will be the height. So for this only we need 2 point, so we call that as, so this one as a first point and this one here second point. Similarly we specify this as first point and second point. Based on this point we will derive width and height. So now you know what is the significance of a first point and second point and why we are declaring it here as a member. So this will define, we will use this point during the line and rectangle drawing. So this point we will initialize when mouse pressed and released. Then we have a label, so this label will display the mode of the current drawing. So you already saw that in the screenshot previously. Then we have a checkbox, so we will import that. So this checkbox we will use to specify whether user need a rubber banding when they are drawing. So rubber banding we will do as a last part, as it requires some work. Alright, now we will go ahead and prepare our command panel. So now we are going to the constructor of our frame class. So we extended from a frame window. That's the name we gave here for our frame window. So this is the frame class, AWT frame. So Java AWT frame. Alright. So as already told in the slide, first we are creating a panel and we are assigning java.awt.grid layout for this panel. So for this grid layout we are specifying rows and columns, and if you look at here the argument, we are specifying 6 rows. So here it shows rows, so rows means 6 rows, and then here we are specifying the column, only one column. Then we are setting a background color for this one, so 240, 240, 240, that means it will be a gray color. Let's go to paintbrush again, and if you see, look at here, I'm going to set the color. So 239, so the gray will look like this. The panel is ready. Now we will prepare our buttons and checkboxes. So first we will import the button from java.awt package, and if you see here we are creating 3 buttons. So draw line, draw rect, and freehand drawing. So there are 3 buttons that we created. Then we are setting the action command for all these buttons using the set action command. So line D, rect D, free H. So that's the action command we are setting for all these 3 buttons. After that we are registering the listener. So all 3 buttons register with the action listener, and we pass this way because here we are going to handle action performed. So the frame window is capable of handling that because it implements action listener. So we pass the frame instance to this add action listener method. Next, finally we create a checkbox. For checkbox we are not going to handle any event because wherever we need to know rubber band is required, that time we will use this checkbox instance. So that's why here the checkbox instance is declared at the class level, so we can use it in various methods. Whereas if you look at this button, we don't need this button instance apart from this constructor. So that's why here we declared as well as created. So the reference will be visible only to this constructor, but for this checkbox we need it outside this constructor also. So we declare this checkbox as a class member. Now we will go to our second subdivision. Here we are preparing the labels. So first we prepare a label, and we are stating that label name is mode. So you already saw in a screen. So the mode is always displayed, and we create one more label, and this label we are going to update in the action performed, which states what is the drawing mode. If you see here, a label is declared here and created, but here this label is actually a class member. Here we declared, and the instance we created here in the constructor. Later we can use this reference at this action performed to set the current action mode or the drawing mode. All right, so this LBL mode we want to set with a new font. So here you can see that we are creating a font object. The font name is Verdana. Font style is plain, and the size is 20. If you need to know, so this is the parameter significance: name, style, then size. So after that we are setting the font for that label LBL mode. So this is why in the sample, if you see, the mode is displayed somewhat bigger. It's not a usual text. So when we run, you can see it once again. Then for LBL mode display also we are setting the same font, but for mode display we are setting the foreground color of blue. So when drawing mode is displayed, it will display in blue color. So at this stage all 6 controls are ready, and if you want to see 3 buttons are ready, then the checkbox is ready. After that 2 labels are ready, so totally 6 control. That's why we created a grid layout of 6 cross 1. That means it will have a room of 6. So in each room we will add 1 control. So now we will add all this control to the command panel. So here we created a command panel and we assigned a grid layout to it. Then we set a background color also, so it's a light gray color. Now we will add all the 6 component. That means 3 buttons, then the checkbox, then 2 labels we already, so here we added. Now finally we are adding our command panel to our frame window. So here if you see, we are making call to the command panel.add. So command panel is a container, our frame window also a container. So first we are adding all 6 control to the command panel container, then we are adding command panel to frame window container. Here command panel is acting as a component. So just like a control, it get added to our frame window. So that's why we are making call to add method of our frame window. So to better understand, you can even put this dot add. So this will make you understand that we are making the add method of the current object, which is the frame window. Alright, now we will perform a test run and see. Let me move this to the side. So further, so you can see that all controls are displayed here: draw line, draw rect, freehand, then rubber band mode. There is one more control here, and even if I resize, that will stick to the right. So the If I resize it height wise, that doesn't look good, but that's okay. All right, now we will handle the action performed event. Just want to make sure whether buttons are added. Yes, button registered with add action listener. Now we can go and implement action performed. So if you see here, we are setting the action command, right, using the button line D, rect D, free H. So here we are simply making use of the action event E dot get action command. So whatever button is clicked, that will return the corresponding action command. So say for example, if a user clicked a freehand button, then the corresponding action command set action for that is free H. Now here get action will retrieve free H. So we store that in a draw mode variable. So that's a string variable there, class member. Then in the label mode display, we set that string. Also, if you see here, since we are about to start the drawing, so after this button, the user will go to the frame, then they start drawing inside the frame area. There's a white background, right? There they will use the mouse and they perform drawing. So once the mode is set, we want to set the first and second point to 0. Say for example, user drawn a line previously, then they changed the mode to rectangle and they will perform second drawing, right? So when they change the mode like that, what we want to do after setting the action command, we want to reset first point and second point. All right, now we will run this and if you see, now you can notice that, so these are all normal label, normal text. Here we changed the label text. So this is Verdana. Let me go back here. Font we already explained in the previous video, but if you want to see once again, this is Verdana font and the font type is plain and size is 20. Now let me click on draw line and you can see that the drawing mode is line D. So rectangle means it will display rect D. Freehand drawing, it will display drawing mode as a free H. So usually after clicking this button, user will go and perform drawing like this. So we haven't handled any of the mouse event yet. So we just prepared our drawing window, the frame window. So that's all the Eclipse demo here. In the second part, we will implement draw line. Then we will proceed further. So that's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye. So we will continue with this in the next part. There will be 5 parts. So at present you just watched part 1. Thanks again and bye.